I am just, checking my volume. Why is it not gone live?
Clean those pesky corners and toilet crevices effortlessly.
Hi, Nancy. Took a minute for me to get live. Welcome. Welcome. We're going to do our twin flame reading today. And I think we should just get right into it. I'm going to use, can you hear me okay, Nancy? Just want to make sure my volume is fine. I think it is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up the reading. So again, this is going to be for twin flames, though it can certainly mean soulmates. It's really love. I'm really looking more for 2024, but whatever wants to come out, come on out. I'm going to use 3 different decks, though, guys. I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot to clarify. I decided to use the Universal Tarot for the masculine and the Light Seers for the feminine. Many of you know that you'll just find yourself in this reading. You know, I say the masculine and the feminine, but that's to give, to give you something to go by. Let's put it that way. All right, but let's start with Mother Mary. And this is for both the twins. 2 souls inhabiting one body. All right. We got 2, which is kind of fitting. Oh, we got 3. We have inner child. I nurture the child within me through playfulness and self-care. Inner child, important. I'm going to bring this lid down a little bit. We have health. My prayers for healing miracles have been heard and answered. And then we have family. I pray for my family and give this situation over to God for answers, support, and healing. So from Mother Mary, we have inner child. Many times our inner child is injured, a lot of times due to love. And then we have health. So I feel like with the inner child and health, think about that, like, the broken little pieces of oneself, and pray for the healing, because I feel like it's definitely it'll definitely be sent to you. All right, so let's move everything aside, and let's start with the Universal Tarot. So we're going to give it a couple shuffles, and again, this is going to be, I'm looking at really the current energy for the masculine and the feminine. But I'm also considering 2024, because literally right around the corner. I feel like I want to give it a couple good shuffles. We did our lives last night, and I use this deck a lot, so I just want to make sure I really shuffle it. Okay, that feels good. All right, so right now we're going to be looking into the masculine's current energy. I do want to remind you all that, we're both masculine and feminine. So that's why either side may feel like you could be a female, but then the masculine side's like, well, that's my situation. Just go with that. Trust your intuition above all. All right, let's begin. I was going to take off the top of the deck, but then all of a sudden I just feel like shuffling. We have the Page of Swords. Look at that. With the Knight of Swords. It's interesting because the Page first and then the Knight. And boy, does it in a way look like they're battling each other, like they're coming into battle. Who's going to win? Also, I feel like this is like the page being like what's in the atmosphere. So some of you, this could talk about communication that comes your way, or you're communicating probably pretty soon. I mean, this knight is like on a mission. 2 swords in a row, the page and then the knight. Be interesting if we got the king or the queen. But instead, we got the 8 of swords. And then look at this, we have the ace of swords. You know, it feels to me like someone's emotions are tied up right now. Like they're tied up in a knot. Boy, does it feel like somebody wants to communicate. But I have a feeling they're so worried about how it'll be received, if it'll even be received. Interesting that the 8 is showing, because I was talking about 2024. But in this 8, it's a self-created prison. So I feel like with all these swords, someone is just fearing making communication. You know, they probably don't know how it's going to be received. Ace of Swords being the last on this row makes me feel like it's truth. I was only going to take 3 across, but we'll go with the flow. So someone is in this mental prison, and it definitely has to do with communication, truth. Look at that. Ask and ye shall receive. There's the king. There's the king. You know, and how I look at a king when I see a knight, especially of the same suit. And by the way, this could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but you know how I read, many of you who have been with me for a while. I know it could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but beyond that, I want us to look beyond the signs, especially with all these. They're all swords. How interesting. They're all swords. Now, I feel like I feel like it's the king or the queen, again, that sends out the knight, right? So it's probably their intention they're sending out, but yet I feel again the fearness of it all, or fearful of it all. I feel like this page is the younger version of this king. So for some of you, this is someone that you were probably with maybe a long time ago. Look at that, the star. My hopes, my dreams, my wishes, and the card of Aquarius, another sword. But it is about one's hopes, dreams, and wishes, and bringing them into fruition. So it's connected to the king. And the king is, again, in his head. It does feel like, if I could just get rid of the fear, I would have no problem reaching out. But the fear of maybe how it's going to be received is what I feel like, I want to say stops them, but temporarily. Let's see what comes under that 8. All right, they're all in reverse. I'm going to turn them around. We have the high priestess. They have to trust their intuition. I feel like, of course, you're already intuitively connected. It's like you can pick up on each other's energy, and sometimes you don't even know that. I don't know that I say this often, but I feel like if we're thinking of another, and, we do have love for them, and potentially we want them back in our life, then what you want to think about is like the intentions you send out there. Not that I need to send the intention that I want this person in my life, but you're sending out loving type intentions. And I say that only because if I'm like, if let's say the feminine has a lot of anxiety, or let's switch this around, where this king seems to have a lot of anxiety, well, the queen may pick that up, or the feminine may pick that up as feeling anxious about something. So because you can feel each other's energy, and if you didn't know that, oh, I went to an ad. Sorry about that, guys. Um, I feel like that's just another like little trick of the trade. But here's this person's intuition. And it's like their spirit guides are saying you need to trust. You need to trust, your first instinct. Because I feel like it's like maybe like I pick up that phone and I'm ready to dial that number, and then I put the receiver back down. Boy, am I old, huh? The receiver. But that's what I feel like I go to make that, maybe I write a letter, but then I don't send it. All right, well, let's keep going on. We have the Four of Pentacles. It's about one's foundation. And then, hello, soulmates. So, like I said in the beginning of this reading, even though we're doing really twin flame, to me, this is just talking about the connection of two souls. I feel like I'm taking too many cards, but let's keep going. I feel like this king has definitely gone through something. I definitely feel there's distance between the feminine and the masculine. And it doesn't even have to be in like I live in America and they live in Australia. Though that can be, I feel like it's talking about time. Like the time. Look at this, the Ace of Wands. So this king is he's finding some guts. This Ace of Wands has new growth on it. So as it relates to this Two of Cups, these souls, this is about new growth. It's not about what was. Though hopefully what was is cleared away. Look at this. The Knight of Cups, unexpected couple fulfillment. Look at the way the Knight is facing, going into the feminine. If we could just eliminate that Eight of Swords, what beautiful cards we have here. So we have the Two of Cups here, and then the Knight of Cups. Unexpected couple fulfillment. Man, I feel like this king wants to communicate with everything inside of him or her. And it feels like a lesson. Like I have to learn how to get past this fear factor and trust my intuition. I feel like because I truly feel like they want to reach out, and I feel like I want to tell them, listen, take a chance. Take a chance. If it's met by what your mind is thinking, well, then at least you know. I feel like this king at one time may have been someone who, and I feel like as a page, someone who is a little bit unbendable. You know what I mean? Like, maybe not taking other people's advice. And then we have Justice, card of Libra. All right. Certainly could have been married and then divorced. Or maybe this king was married and now divorced. And I feel like if that's the case, I feel like if this king was, with someone, I feel like it's over. And listen, I feel like it was over long before it was over. You know what I mean? Like I feel like whoever they were with, and potentially maybe married someone. But listen, there you are connected to them, even through all that. That may be part of what they want to communicate to you. Like, I did it. I left them. I'm on my own. I want you back. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. King of Wands. So we have two kings on the table. We have the King of Swords, again, can be Gemini, excuse me, Libra, Aquarius, and now the King of Wands can be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. However, again, it doesn't have to be any of that. King of Wands is a king of action. Look at that, the Emperor right underneath him. Nine of Wands underneath that. It's like someone has taken the time to reflect upon their life. And I feel this on the masculine side. To reflect upon their own responsibilities within anything that's gone wrong. And I feel like this may be part of a conversation, because I feel like with the Emperor here, especially with the Knight of Wands under that, I feel like, the Emperor, of course it could be Aries, but the Emperor is someone that we look up to. The Emperor is someone who's definitely been through it. And I do feel like this, I'm saying this king, but it's different kings for different people. It's almost like at one time I had a fall from grace, but I have risen. I have risen. Okay. Let's bring in the feminine. And then just so you know, for those who haven't been in one of the twin flame readings before, we're going to take the Gilded Tarot. And once we're done with the feminine, we're going to connect them right down the middle. And then we'll go back and clarify. All right. Let's begin. So now we're looking at the feminine, the Tower. That's why that Eight of Swords is on the masculine side. The Tower, it's like the feminine saying, this was destructive in my life. Like, it may have taken me quite a while to overcome this. Now, I have to tell you, we can overcome these towers. We 100% can overcome these towers. We have to understand them. Often feel in a tower, someone does take a fall from grace. And I do feel like it's his king. And I do feel like the feminine is like, well, you don't understand how it's affected me. But at the same breath, I want to say you can rebound. So let's see. Let's keep going. But I get it. I get it. Especially following this line, right? Where this king definitely, listen, he's all up in his head. He or she is all up in their head about, first of all, I feel like bringing you the truth. And I feel like the truth is more than just, I love you. I feel like the truth is about what I've been through, how I have grown, knowing my own responsibilities within really all aspects of my life, but especially this tower and what it's done to you. I feel this sense of almost sadness, like a sadness that I even allowed that tower to happen. Hello, Empress. Well, let's talk about the Empress, because we did see the Emperor, and to me, they are my power couple. The Empress, through her life and due to her experiences, the one thing that she has learned is how to keep her heart open. Now, I feel like this is going to be quite the test for the Empress. But that is really her specialty, is staying loving and nurturing, but she's powerful and strong. You know, like nobody can really pull the wool over her eyes. But she is connected to that tower, so she felt that tower. And it's interesting because if you even, I know a lot of you just listen and don't look, but if you even look at the cards, it's like part of this tower energy is like still connected to her. All right, well, let's keep going. I feel like the feminine dreams about the masculine. I feel like when the feminine puts her head down on her pillow at night, he or she again. I know that confuses some people, but we really have to learn that we are both masculine and feminine, so we can be on either side of the table. But anyway, I do feel that, like, but in the same breath, I feel like, but I don't allow that. It's like I've learned not to allow that to affect my everyday. But boy, when I lay my head down at night, we have the Eight of Pentacles. You know, I feel like I've been getting this quite a bit in the twin flame readings because I feel like it's either one side or the other where I feel like, you know, okay, so we suffered this tower and I know it was heartache. I already know that. I mean, we're doing a love reading and I already know, you know, amongst other things, it's heartache. But then I feel like we take two different paths. And I feel like the Empress takes a creative path. She is thinking more about her pentacles, her creativity, her platform. You know, it's like, yes, I stayed loving and nurturing, but again, I'm nobody's fool. So I feel like she, what's the word I want to use? Like she not manifested, but like she turned that energy to her benefit. So I feel like really what she did is she just kept her head down and got to work. And she's building something, I feel abundant for herself. You both have an 8 at the exact same position. And again, the 8 standing for 2024. So I find that interesting. All right, let's keep going. By the way, I am glancing down at the comments here and there. So I just want you to know that. Look at this. Justice. Maybe the two of you are married. 7 of Pentacles. But it's what was meant to happen. All right. So, you know, justice certainly can mean a divorce, but I really feel like this is saying that, you know, maybe the masculine cut the ties to the feminine. Maybe it was abrupt. I know it didn't feel good. But yet I want to say this at the same time. I feel like the Empress, I feel like she has, you know, like this lifetime is more than just about love for her. Because I feel like whatever she's doing, building, you know, whatever it is she does in her career, or it doesn't even have to be a career, yet I do feel like I make money from it. I feel like that's an important component of the feminine also. So, you know, I shouldn't regret because what I built, I'm building for myself and it feels good. Seven of Pentacles, you know, first of all, talks about patience. Well, I feel like the Empress has had patience, but then it also talks about like I feel, you know, if you just look at the card, you see like all these bulbs, right? Like they're planted, and each seed will blossom in its time. You know, I feel like this is our soul seeds of intention, and not all seeds are going to blossom at the same time. There are experiences. And the experiences our soul wanted to have. Funny how the cards coming out like one by one by one. Temperance. So first of all, feminine, you have two energies back to back that talk about patience. Two energies. Now, maybe the patience was so this masculine could cut ties to whatever the masculine needed to cut ties to. Now, listen, maybe the feminine also cut ties, but I really feel like this is about the masculine cutting ties and then ultimately making that announcement. How will it be received? Temperance, divine timing. You know, I feel like the feminine is like, I know all about temperance. I know all about divine timing, and that's exactly what I did. You know, temperance says, whatever you can't control, hand it over to me. Don't let it turn into worry. And I feel like that's exactly what the Empress has done. Like, I'm handing it over to you, God. And in the meantime, I'm going to do my thing and build my life. So I feel like this masculine, let's say this communication actually takes place. You actually do pick up that phone. I'm just using the phone as an example. You know, but I do like I have a vision of like like a rotary phone, an old fashioned phone. And I can see it ringing. It's black and I can see it ringing, and I have to decide, am I like somehow I know on the other end of that receiver is this king, and I have to make a decision. Do I pick that phone up? Do I pick, because I feel like once I pick that phone up, you know. All right, let's keep going. So I see quite a few people, but I don't see any comments. Oops. I keep pushing myself right out. Oh, there you go. You know, every time my phone goes to an ad, I lose the comments. So real quick, I just want to say, tarots are boring. Then why are you here? You know, I don't have a monitor. I guess that's what you call them. And there's some comments here that maybe don't belong. All right. Hello, lovers. 7 of Wands. Excuse me just 1 second. I'll be right back. Did you just come in? Huh?
We were trying to get them to go through. John Eagle's saying I can't get them out until I have to wait 5 days. Usually it was 4. Now they're saying 5.
Okay, one live.
Oh, well, Dr. Cash turned around and said, no, you're about 3 to 4 days before. So I called CVS. They said the guy ruled we can't break down any. And I got a call from Matt this morning.
Hey, I need to know.
I can't. We got 9 left. That's it. 9. And I don't get until after Christmas. Okay, don't get mad at me.
I'm live.
Don't get mad.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Anyways, hello, lovers. And how interesting that the lovers is mirrored on the masculine side by the 2 of Cups in the same position. All right, let's do. Oh, go under temperance. So we have 2 sevens together, 77. Seven of Wands is about standing your ground. Nothing wrong with that. Six of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. Interesting. So let's look at this real quick before we connect. I mean, they're already connecting, but before we physically connect them. So let's look at the masculine or the feminine for a second. So we open her with the Tower, and it makes complete sense. That's what the masculine is in his head about. But yet it's also showing the growth of the feminine. Not that the masculine hasn't had growth. I'm not saying that, but this feels more like in a material way, like maybe even a spiritual way, like I built up my life. I'm building up my life. And then it's met by the Two of Swords down here. So, I feel like I don't feel like this is easy, because I do feel like the Empress, if she picks up that phone, I do feel like it's just not going to be like, oh yeah, baby, where you been? Like, you better sell me on this in a way. And I don't mean that in like, you better sell me on this, but I do feel like the Empress is listening to like every word, searching for maybe like anything that may be of a negative. It's almost like I'm looking for the negative nature before anything. That makes sense, right? However, we do have the Lovers here. We do have the Two of Cups here. We do have the Six of Pentacles, and I feel like the Six of Pentacles is talking about the art of give and take. Maybe at one time when these two were together, it wasn't equal. There was more take and not enough give, or vice versa. So I do feel like this is about a balance, both of them coming into a balance. But I do feel like ultimately it puts the ball in the Empress's court, or the feminine's court. I'm either going to say yay or nay. All right, let's connect them. But first, I'm going to read some of these comments real quick. Wow, it's funny. I didn't see all these comments. Hi, Chili Mama. Hi, Pip. What's with the smutty tarot cards? What does that mean? Hi, Frank. Dirt level. Damn, this is some grade. I guess I should have put a block on here. Chili Mama, you need to mind your own business. No, she doesn't. Why don't you mind your own business and go to someone else's reading? Base towers. She's talking about tower engineer. No. Frank, what's all? I don't get what's going on here. I usually pay. Oh my gosh. I apologize, guys, for those who are leaving cruel messages. I don't know why. You just don't go on with your day and go somewhere else. So for those who have to listen to it, I'm really sorry. Why do I have 5 candles lit? I don't know. It's not with witchcraft. I mean, God is all through my readings. God. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. There's some ignorant people here. Creative X. Hi. Why is it not showing your comment? I don't know why. Hi, Gal. I'm a female, by the way. Clock man for you. Trolls. Yep. Chili Mama. I know I need a moderator. And it's interesting because I've done a few lives now and I haven't gotten all this. Hi, Evan. No, I'm just doing a twin flame reading. And I just decided to do it live. I don't know. This is probably the last time I'll do it, one of these live with all these kind of comments. God, continue protecting our energy. Thank you. I feel like my masculine is noble and gentle. I feel him around me all the time. Gia. God, watch over us. Thank you, Teresa. Chili Mama, hi. They jump on lives and get cheap trills. It's ridiculous. Hi, Angel Heart. I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you, Evan. I do personal readings, Nancy. I think it's below, like, below any of the videos. Okay. So I'm going to get back to the reading, guys, but I just wanted to say hello and thank you for reporting those ridiculous people. Like, what? They got nothing else to do with their day? All right. Let's see what's on the bottom of the feminine deck. Page of Cups. Inner child. We saw that with Mother Mary. We're going to put them together. But let's bring out, it's funny, like I have all this room on my table, but I still don't feel like I have enough room. So let's just separate these a little bit. And let's bring in the Gilded Tarot, and we're going to go right down the middle and connect them. I hope those who are here, who are here to really hear the reading, I hope you can see the messages. I hope that you're resonating with them. Interesting. I only took 3 across for the feminine. All right. Let's connect them. We have the Strength card. Card Leo. Looking back at the masculine's energy. To me, the Strength card talks about dealing with our own inner demons. It is an 8. Overcoming something. Three of Swords. Queen of Wands. So we have the King of Wands. Now we have the Queen of Wands. 5 of Cups. Or I'm sorry, 5 of Pentacles. We got a lot, but I'm taking them all. Hello, Emperor. Right where he belongs. If this is to be. Because when I see the Emperor and the Empress in a reading, first thing that comes to my mind is a twin flame. Now, I don't say that in a lot of my readings because I like a lot more evidence before I say that, but this is that reading. So, and then look at this, the 7 of Swords. Interesting. So the Strength card being mirrored by the 7 of Swords. I feel like this king had to overcome, I feel like he had some bad habits. Doesn't mean he's not a great person, but I do feel like, because I feel like he had to deal with some things that were within him. Like maybe there were some temptations, like darker type energy that he tended to just gravitate towards. It's showing the Three of Swords, which is definitely connected to that tower. Do I think both of them eventually suffered that Three of Swords? I do. It is connecting them. Also, the Queen of Wands with the King of Wands right there. But she's the queen of action. She's also a queen that really uses her intuition as it relates to making a decision. You know, she's not someone who's going to overthink anything. And then right below that is that Five of Pentacles, which again ties back to the tower. So, you know, Five Pentacles means like I feel I was thrown out into the cold. Like Emperor, you threw me out into the cold. And then the Seven of Swords, you know, did they cheat? I don't know. I don't feel that. Like, I don't feel that. It's untrustworthy energy. But listen, I feel like that's what was, because I definitely feel the page is the younger version of this king. And again, forget about the sign. Let's just take one right across. Look at that, the tower. So I wanted to take one right across that Seven of Swords. Hello, tower. So whether this king or the masculine was untrustworthy, you know, whether they physically cheated or they just carried that type, you know, they could have also lied a lot. You know, lied a lot because why? Because I don't want to face consequences. I don't want to listen to what you had to say type of energy. You know, like an immature type of energy. And that's what resulted in the tower. Okay. I'm just looking down real quick. Hi, Dee. Hi, Teresa. I will need my terrible towel back up. Oh, my God. Can't believe Kenny Pickett got hurt. Kathleen, mine had a lot of toxic behavior. His soul is so pure, though. I went no contact a month ago. Okay. All right, guys. What we're going to do is we're going to use the Gilded Tarot. We're just going to go across the reading. Seems pretty clear to me. Now, how long does it take this person to reach out, whether it be the masculine or the feminine? It's going to depend on whenever they get out of their head. Though their intuition is like trying to get them to follow it. Or another way of putting that is divine is trying to get them to trust. You know, you are part of their dream. Like you are their dream. That doesn't mean, you know, it doesn't mean that everything's going to work out. Everything's going to be great. No, life happens. And life did happen. No doubt it happened. I feel like one may have moved away. Like, you know, maybe we lived in the same town and one may have moved away. I know that's not for everyone, but I'm picking that up all of a sudden. And one stayed. One stayed. And now all of a sudden my eyes are being pulled to this Knight of Cups again. This unexpected cup of fulfillment. Now, it's a cup of fulfillment. But will I allow myself to be fulfilled? I think that's the question. That's the question the masculine has on his mind. Or will it just be shut down? Four of Swords. You know what? I'm so happy to see that. Because I do feel like the masculine had to deal with some, not that we all don't have like our own inner demons, but I really feel this masculine had to find like a real balance within him or herself, because otherwise I feel like the dark energy was kind of overtaking me. And now I know that. Now I know that. So healing. Sorry, guys. It's like it goes to commercial and I lose all your. All right. Kathleen, you moved away. Four of Pentacles. Two fours right next to each other. Four of Pentacles certainly can speak about one's foundation. Look at this. Eight of Wands coming over the Eight of Swords. Two eights. Another eight right here. Eight of Wands, what I think about it, bring about. It's also fast moving energy. I read the Eight of Wands, though, as my intention. Like putting my intentions out into the universe and knowing that they're going to be met. But then I have to think about my vibration. Like if I'm putting intentions out into the universe, I don't want to put them out in a fear-based mind, because will that not just bring me more things to be fearful of, so to speak? So I feel like there's a need for, well, it's being mirrored by the Knight of Cups. So it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear what his intentions are. Here's the truth of the Ten of Swords. A repeat pattern. I have a feeling that, excuse me. This is no excuse for the masculine, but I do feel like the masculine had found themselves in a repeat pattern, and it may be like something throughout their whole life. Like I feel like I took a lot of daggers in my back, and it put a certain taste in my mouth. And I'll be damned if I didn't then repeat those same things that, maybe from my childhood, like, the things that I hated, and then I turned around and did the same damn thing. It's almost like, maybe their father was not very attentive or even there, you know what I mean? Or not a good, didn't show their mother love type of thing. Because I feel like all of a sudden, there's something that I did not want to do is exactly what I did. But he knows this. That's the thing. He knows this. Not only does he know this, but it's being healed. And I feel like, listen, if this is someone that I'm going to connect to for hopefully the rest of my life, then I want to make sure this is healed, because I don't want to bring along any of their karma into my life, so to speak. Like, pay off your own karma. All right, but let's keep going. King of Pentacles. So we're getting all the kings. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. The Magician. The Manifester. And the Seven of Wands. So this Empress twice is being told to stand her ground. Now, I have to say, I get it, because I feel like this is a little bit of aggressive type energy. And I understand it completely. But yet I feel like how do I bring her down a notch? Because what I would, if I could paint the picture, then I would have the Empress just listen. Just listen. Maybe not even speak right away. Just listen. I do feel like she needs to say her piece, though, at the same time. But I feel like coming from an aggressive, if this is what you want, by the way. If this is not what you want, don't even pick up the phone. Don't accept the communication. You know what I mean? But if this is something you do want, then I feel like that's where it's saying you have every right to stand your ground, but don't allow it to go to, don't fight. right? Because if like the phone call happens, and again, I'm using the phone call as an example, though I do vision that for someone, the phone call happens, like getting into a fight over the phone. And again, it makes sense. I mean, we are human after all. I mean, we're spiritual beings having human experiences. But our human experiences is what is causing that Seven of Wands, I feel like. So anyway, I can't tell you not to be. I feel like it's a little like I'm still a little mad. But the Magician, right over that tower. Just like I told you in the beginning, where I feel like we can rebound over these towers. The towers are disruption. It doesn't necessarily mean it's not the death card where it's saying close the door and don't ever open that door again. This is disruption that happened in a way that did cause heartache. No doubt with that. But other than that, I do feel like you can rebound. The Magician has all the tools that they need to really be successful. And that may be why we're seeing these 2 4s over here too. Like, I want to make sure someone's foundation is strong first. Like, if they had any kind of problems where, like maybe they were drinkers, or I'm just using that for an example, and that came between your relationship, that's what I want to make sure that is taken care of. With the Knight of Wands. Well, hello, passion rushing in. Good luck ignoring it. Good luck. Anybody know what movie that's from? Good luck. I have a very special set of skills, and I'm not afraid to use them. Good luck. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking to myself. Thank you, Kathleen. When will you find peace? When will we find peace in our cells? I feel like that's what the Empress has done. I feel like that's, the Empress does mean that one's finding peace within oneself. The Empress is realizing that, why is the Empress the Empress? To me, she's the Empress because she's walked the walk of all the queens, and she's gained the wisdom of all the queens. So she can use all of that to her benefit, and she should. Now, that doesn't mean that she's not human, right? So yes, this is a much higher vibrational energy, but she's still human. So, even though I'm the Empress and, I pretty much got my shit together, there are days where, I may fall apart. And I got to be okay with that, though, also. Anyway, here's this Knight of Wands. Whew, rushing in. Passion. All right. 2 swords. All right, we get it. Knight of Wands. Love it. All right, let's stop, because I want to talk about the Knight of Wands for a second, especially because it's coming right above or right underneath the Eight of Wands, which again, the Eight of Wands, fast moving energy. Sometimes so much so that it can feel chaotic. So keep that in mind. But now here's the Knight of Pentacles. So 2 energies over here that spoke of patience, right? Patience, but knowing that all good things will come your way. Granted that I'm willing to put that energy in. Over here, yes, there's a lot of fear. It's because of their own actions, and I'm not saying this person was perfect. Don't get me wrong. These are 2 people who tried to make it work, didn't work. And I'm not saying either's perfect. No, because nobody's perfect. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. But anyway, so the Knight of Pentacles says patience is needed, right? Now, this person's being asked to have patience because of this worry. Would that be the right time to reach out and communicate? Probably not, because I'm already like, I'm putting the intention that she's not going to pick up that phone. Knight of Pentacles is meant to bring you in a pentacle. And this pentacle is meant to truly, especially through the Knight of Pentacles, truly enhance your world. This knight comes in the right time. It doesn't come in before, and it won't come in after. And that's why present moment is so important. The Empress lives in present moment. The Emperor lives in present moment. So this blessing, we can call it. Now, it's on the masculine side, but boy, do I feel like it's traveling over to the feminine side. So it feels like a blessing that both will share. Okay. I'm going to go. Keep going. Hello, Will. Destiny. You know, what can you do? You're in each other's will. You know, I don't feel like twin flames are in each other's lives every single life. I feel like it's up to each couple, really. But this is definitely signifying that in this lifetime, this is about the connection. Now, it's about the connection, but don't forget, when you're in a twin flame relationship, you're mirroring each other. So you may find you have similar experiences or similar lessons that you've learned in different ways. But again, this is like, to me, I don't know, confirmation. We have the Five of Wands. We have the Ace of Swords. Okay, that's what I was a little bit afraid of. But then that Five of Wands is being mirrored over here by the Hierophant. Card of Taurus, by the way. But this is about your belief system. So, again, that phone rings. Here's the Ace of Swords. Here's the communication, or however it's coming in. Again, I feel like this sword, first of all, this sword is down. So I feel like there's no aggression maybe on this side. I definitely feel there's aggression on the feminine side. I feel like now, it's interesting because in a way, I feel like the feminine has healed, but maybe this arises, like a lot of this, like this anger that I thought I let go of comes back. Because I do feel like, what he's fearful of, he may actually be receiving. However, I feel like the Empress is saying, keep your hope alive, keep your faith alive, trust within your faith. Know that everyone's going to make mistakes. And again, this is not about taking back anybody you don't want to take back. But I love that the Hierophant came up because, first of all, to me, it's a higher type energy. Okay. One more row. And then I'm going to read your questions. And we'll just have, if you guys want, we'll have a little talk. Or if you you wonder about certain things in your reading, I'm happy to answer them. Seven of Pentacles. All right, so we have the Seven of Pentacles somewhere right here on the feminines. Now we have it on the masculines. Hello, Six of Cups. Someone that I have very loving memories of. And this is the masculine thinking of you. Now, I want you to be very, very truthful with yourself. If you feel your masculine is nowhere near ready for this energy, be honest, because I don't want to give false hopes at the same time. That's why I really want you to know yourself. But anyway, someone that I have treasured memories about. And where is it coming over? The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. Unexpected couple fulfillment. Why? Because I love you. Why? Because I can't stop thinking about you. Why? Because you've lived within my heart from day one. But I was stupid. I was immature. I feel like we were young. And I feel like the decisions and choices I made, I now know were the wrong ones. Though I'm going to say, as a spiritual being, I feel like there's really no wrong ones. There's always something to learn from. But back to what the masculine is saying, I even feel like I connected with the wrong people. And all of that seemed to tear me away. All right. We have, hello, victory. Six of Wands. This is called victory and success. 10 of Wands. Six of Swords. 5 of Cups. That means you're missing them. Oh, I didn't see this Queen down here. Queen of Cups can be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, but doesn't have to be. Queen of Cups to me is someone who appreciates love. This is someone who really does want to have love in their life. I'm not saying they need to have it, but it feels good, right? I do like having that person that when something magical happens in my day, you're the first one I call. Look at this. And then the Ace of Pentacles. So, the Knight of Pentacles says, in the right time, this Ace of Pentacles will arrive in your life. And this Ace of Pentacles, again, is truly meant to expand it. So, taking this energy, I do feel like, yes, it comes in as a seed. But if I love it and I nurture it, just like the Empress is great at doing, and so is the Emperor, then there's no limit on how far and how great this love can be. I'm not going to lie and say there will never be any challenges, that everything is hunky-dory from this moment on. No, there's always ups and downs. But this is the ability to get through them together. Wow. Wow. It's interesting because the most difficult energy is coming right through the middle. But then you have the Six of Swords. So that is the ability to let go of anything toxic. It can be my own thoughts too. It's flowing this way though. But do I feel like the feminine is missing the masculine and the masculine is missing the feminine? I absolutely do. I absolutely do. But again, it's the breaking of that Eight of Swords. It's the freeing of oneself. And by the way, a universal year 8, which is what we're moving into, it's going to be a year where a lot of people are freeing themselves from these self-created prisons. So this looks very, very good, guys. I'm going to take a second and read the comments, though. I'm going to just click out of this and go back in. Make sure I have the newest comments. All right. Thank you all for making those reports. I know I can put a, what do you call it? Do I want to say a filter on my comments? But I've never needed to before. New Rad posted. Love to you also, Gail. Creative Inc. What the heck? My question, let the masses. I don't know what you mean. Good day, Sandy. Are you doing... Evan, did you get your reading? I don't know if you're still here. You're probably not still here. Did you get your reading last night? Because it was quite interesting. I remember it. But no, I'm not even doing readings. I'm just doing a twin flame. I just decided to do it live. I don't even know why. It's just what I just felt like doing it live. But Evan, yeah, it was quite interesting. Gia, I feel like my masculine is noble and gentle. I film around all the time. Beautiful. They're just kids. Hi, that ASMR girl. They're just trolling. Yep. Chili Mama, I'm a mermaid. So strange you said that because I was watching a show yesterday and she said she was a mermaid. So that's interesting. Thank you, Evan. Nancy, I hope I answered your question. Evan, your twin has passed, so I doubt there are any message. Well, don't think that, because that may be exactly why the Two of Cups is here, Evan. You know what I mean? If your twin has passed, then don't think that they are not like, I mean, hello. That is probably your twin right there. You're probably not here any longer. Guardian angel. And they would want you to still have love. Great love. Maybe not with them, but you will be back together again. But that may be exactly why we're seeing the Two of Cups, Evan. I do even, they seem to forget. Trolls are watch out. Keep going, Sandy. Don't let it get you down. Just return to sender with the evil eye. Chili Mama. You're welcome, Creative X. It's not Creative 8. I don't know why I say that. $12.12, 33. Belinda. Hi, Belinda. That's true, Kathleen. When we find peace in ourselves, there's no longer a need to convince someone of it. I just went to commercial. I don't have any control over these, by the way. YouTube just puts them wherever they want. Okay, but I skipped it. Now I need to go back down. I just want to just read your comments before I'm going to read Mother Mary too. What movie? It was with Liam Neeson, and they took his daughter. My favorite movie. I'll tell you that much. High truth lies beneath. I have my shit together, but sometimes I fall apart. That's all right, Jelly Mama. I mean, you're allowed. Yes, self-love opens the door to others unconditionally with no want, just because we choose to, no need for reciprocation because we fill up our own cup. True. This is what I'm going through right now. You're right on point, and it really helps to see it spread out so plain and maybe not so simple. Cheryl, thank you. Yeah, it's never simple. Kathleen, my worry is that he needs someone to fix his mess. I only hope he learned to be independent and whole and is loving himself in a non-selfish way. Well, I feel like that's what the Eight of Swords is. And I honestly, Kathleen, I feel like he's got to fix himself, because that's really what that Eight of Swords speaks about. It's self-created. It can be, and then that Ten of Swords, because there can be a lot of things that happen through life that cause us to react and act in certain ways. I just think of my own childhood, and like I only was married once, but the person I married was just like my dad. And I don't mean the loving part of my dad. I mean the cheating part of my dad. And I remember growing up being like, and I loved my dad, don't get me wrong. But when I was old enough, I remember saying to myself, I'll never have, that'll never happen in my life. Well, lo and behold, 19, I get married, and that's exactly what I did. So, hi, Lauren. And he's lived in your heart and yours and you in his. Next year is the year 8. I'm reading Chili Mama. It's been 8 years since I met my twin for 16 hours. This has been the hardest thing that I've worked through in my life. Chili Mama, if I could give you any advice, I would give you the advice of temperance. And that is just try to let go of the things you cannot control. And we can't control another human. And trust, because I feel like our spirit guides are always working behind the scenes, helping us in ways that we don't even know. So we have to just trust that the masculine's guides are also helping them. I mean, why wouldn't they be? We're not the only ones who are privy to healing. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind. If it's real, you will know. There is no way you can explain it. Yep. That's true. All right, guys. I'm going to read Mother Mary, but I'm not going to read them all. So I feel like I'm going to read Inner Child because I feel like, well, let's face it. I feel like when these two ultimately, let's just say, make communication, I feel like the inner child starts singing. I feel like the inner child is like, but then that adult part of us is like, no, I'm going to control that. But our inner child is just full of joy and excitement. Interesting that I'm feeling that, but I am feeling that. Okay. Inner child. Mother Mary watches over all children, including the child who also resides within each adult. This card comes to you as a reminder to care for your inner child who is crying out for attention. If you're only working and not having fun, it seems like that's what the Empress is doing right now. This part of you begins to feel neglected and sad. This is a message for you to create time for amusement and play. Your inner child also craves attention. If you've been overly critical of yourself lately, he or she may feel shame or depression. Forgive yourself as Mother Mary forgives you for what you think you've done or not done. Learn from any mistakes instead of holding on to self-destructive guilt. Right this moment, please reassure your inner child that you love her or him. I love you, inner child. All right, guys. Anybody got any questions about the reading? I don't know what I did with my Mother Mary cards. Damn ads. Your phone died. Chilling Mama, you're a master number 33. Going into universal year 8. What are you going to master? You know, and then when you think of master number 33, you want to add those 2, 3. You want to look at the 3. You want to know the 3 and what the 3 means, but also the 6, which really speaks about relationships. So you're here to master that. And that probably means it doesn't come easy. But ultimately, I feel like you will have the ability to master that. And I have a feeling it's talking about your, not just your twin flame relationship, not just that, but your life, like whatever it is you want to create and master. You have the ability to do that. Gia, we cannot fix it all sometimes. It's hard to manifest love as we imagine it. I believe that I've met my soulmate, but we're not together, and it doesn't necessarily have to be. My heart hears him. You know, I feel like what's meant to be will be. Now, I do feel like, so it will be, but then ultimately we have free will. So we make the decision of, will we allow it to continue to be? You know, and then we have the wheel right there, right smack in the middle of the reading. So I feel like whatever on your destined will, it's going to happen. But then you're going to choose, do I take that seed, nurture it, and grow it, and let it blossom? Or do I just ignore it and let it dry up and die? Those are our options. That's free will. Sorry, I felt like that was a speech. I didn't mean it as a speech at all. Kathleen. Oh, thank you, Kathleen. Cheryl, know what you're saying. Time to temper the hard one masculine bit aside and listen. You're welcome, Shelly Mama. I felt like this reading was very clear. I always feel like my twin flame readings are very clear. I'm on a twin flame path. I'm in union. For those who don't know me, maybe you're new here. It's my journey. Like, I met my twin when we were 15. We dated for, let's say, a year, maybe a touch longer. And then he said to me, I remember he was dropping me off. We were out for the night and he was dropping me off and he said, I love you. And I could not say it back, though I loved him. I loved him dearly. But you know why I didn't say it back? Because my mother, when I was growing up, never said the words, I loved you. So for me to say those words, it was so hard, even though I felt it. Well, he broke up with me and that was that. 40 years later, I'm in Rhode Island now. I left Pennsylvania, moved to Rhode Island, and he's still in our hometown. And my phone rings. I pick it up, and it's him. And he opens the conversation by lyrics of what was our song, which is Night Moves by Bob Seger. And for 5 years, we talked on the phone. And then now we live together. So I hope that gives some of you hope, because that's really why I tell you. I hope you told your inner child that you loved her. So, does anybody got any questions over the reading? If not, I'll just let everybody be. But I have to say, I love this reading. And I do feel like, it is speaking of real life. It is speaking of, the hardships, the breakups, the what we have to overcome. Knowing what it is we want in our life and what we don't want in our life, and then being willing to be up that vibration. If we want love, great love, then we've got to be great love ourselves. That's the law of attraction. Hi, Moon Goddess. Oh, Lauren, I could go on and on and on. And let me tell you, during our conversations on the phone, we broke up quite a few times. But then one would call the other and we'd make up. We broke up probably 20 times. And the reason why it took 5 years was my fear. I was fearful. But I had to overcome that, and I'm so glad I did. Moon goddess, moon goddess. What song am I thinking of? Moon goddess, moon goddess. Hi, Dixon. I'm not sure what you mean. I can't really see that. I'm going to make sure I responded to everyone's comments. And I thank each and every one of you for being here. And my God, do I thank you guys for reporting those, what do you call them? Spammers, trolls, stupid people who got nothing to do with their lives. 20 times 2. And I have to say that during those fights, breakups, all that, those 5 years of conversation, we learned more about each other than we ever knew. You know what I mean? Because yes, there were fights, but there were also like 10-hour long conversations. There was, oh, I just went to an ad. There was romance over the phone, all of that. But there was also fighting. All, like something told me and something told him that like we had to, like, no matter the fights, we had to keep going. We had to keep, and we did. So here we are. And it's still not perfect. And I still feel like the runner. Like I'm that type of person where, I'm used to like moving a lot. And Sam's the opposite. Like he's been in this house for 42 years. Well, I've never owned a home, and I have moved like from home to home, state to state. It's just who I am, and I'm learning to settle that down because this has got to be my final resting place. um, all right, guys, I think I'm going to let this go, let it be. Unless anybody wants to, ask me anything about the reading, feel free to. That was Jeopardy clock. All right. So you guys are being quiet. You're thinking. All right. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I thank each and every one of you for being here. Of course, this video will be up in public. So, Moon Goddess, you came in late. Definitely go back and watch it. This was quite an interesting one. And again, I put the masculine and the feminine over here, but just know that you can be on either side. It may be you who needed to whatever. You can be on either side. But that's why you got to know yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to make anything fit. And I feel like there are lots of stories within a story. So your intuition and your guides are going to help you find your story within it. How does one read the Seven of Pentacles? I read it probably different than anyone else. But, here's the thing. Here's how I read. Every tarot deck that I bought, I have never looked at the book. And I do that with purpose. I do that because I want my own intuition to determine what the meaning is. Now, I know some people don't like that who follow traditional tarot, but I don't. Though to a point I do. But to me, the Seven of Pentacles, the first lesson within the Seven of Pentacles to me is patience, right? Because you have this tree, and I often relate it to like an apple tree. And that tree's full of apples, right? But not all the apples are going to be ripe at the same time. So you don't want to pick an apple before it's time or it's bitter. So each one of those pentacles, and I often feel those seven pentacles. Now I'm saying seven because it comes through the seven, which is a very spiritual number. I feel like the majority of them are your soul seed of intention that you've already planted before you even came into this lifetime. But then we also want to remember that we are always planting seeds. If we plant no seed, there will be no harvest. If we plant 0 seeds, there will be 0 harvest. If we plant seeds, and listen, doesn't mean all the seeds have to like come to full blossom, but it'll give us enough where we have a harvest. So that's how I read the Seven of Pentacles. But I feel like it's like it signifies to me that certain situations, whatever surrounding it, was meant to happen. Doesn't mean it has to happen. I say that often because of free will, but that's how I read it. Um, you tried to, you, I've tried to plan my son's date of birth to avoid some numbers. I hope that he, oh, dang it, just went to commercial. Son of a gun. Um, to avoid some numbers. What numbers are you trying to avoid, Gia? If you want, you don't have to tell us if you don't want to. Don't say 13 because I was born on the 13th. All right, Gia, you may have left already. Okay, guys, last call for alcohol. Last call for any questions relating to the reading. We'll give it a 30-second countdown. It's a final countdown. I wish I could have been a singer. I mean, what I really mean is I wish I was born with that voice. I would have been a singer. Maybe in my next lifetime. Okay, guys, I'm going to let it be. I don't see anybody else typing. So I thank each and every one of you for showing up on my first live doing an actual reading. I've done lives before, but this is the first time I've actually done a reading live. It seems like the majority of you enjoyed it. So I will continue to do, I feel like special readings. We'll do them live because I like to get your feedback right away. You know, I didn't know how much I would enjoy this, but I really, really enjoyed it. So I thank you all. Thank you for reporting those trolls. Um, I mean, I was reading the comments. I'm like, what the hell? I'm not used to seeing that because I've never had that on any of my other lives. I don't know why they picked this reading. Anyway, so thank you for reporting them and kicking their asses off. I'm proud of you guys. And I thank you for protecting me. Um, if you're on this twin flame journey, my prayer for you is that it comes together in the most loving of ways, but be open to knowing that, yes, you know, it doesn't guarantee there's no challenges, but can they be overcome? I feel like that's exactly what this reading is saying, that they can be overcome. These towers, we can overcome them, especially with the magician above that. Like, I'm going to use that tower as my wisdom, not my fear. And that's what I'm going to create from. By the way, lovers down here mirroring the towers. I just realized that. The ability to manifest. Okay, I'm still talking. I'm going to let that be. I love you guys. I thank you as always. And I will see you next time. By the way, I was going to go live Saturday just for like live readings where you can ask anything. But then I realized the Steeler game's on Saturday. So Sunday, I think I'm going to go live and just leave it open so you guys can ask questions. Yes, I do put donations as priority, but you don't have to donate. You know what I mean? Like, I know everybody can't afford that. So keep an eye open for Sunday. And I'm just going to keep going live. But I loved doing this reading live, and I hope that it brings you all that the potential has. I don't know if that was the right word. All right, guys, I love you. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time at our table. Bye-bye.